Hello, I think many of you know the company Penon. They not only running the famous online store selling big variety of in-ear monitors, headphones, dubs, digital converters and all the gear that is related to our hobby, but they are also pretty famous for creating a really cost-efficient lineup of audiophilic products, portable ones. I reviewed their cables, I reviewed their earbuds. They definitely offers really good price to quality ratio. And close to the beginning of previous year, they've announced that they want to create in-ear monitors. The name of the model is Penon Sphere, and they released them, of course, and price is $170. And what is surprising, it's a single balanced armature in-ear monitors. But actually they managed to tune them really well, so I can say in advance that they offers pretty good value and nice sound. So probably links will be in the description. They close their store on the AliExpress temporary and on the eBay, but their main store running on their own website is now operating. So let's have a closer look now. Package is familiar. We've seen such package few times before. Almost all Penon products come in such box. Nice combination of colors, blue, gold, kind of terracotta one. But as you can see, its technical specifications are pretty unusual. So 20 Hz, 20 kHz it's okay, but impedance is just 6 ohms and 118 decibels per milliwatt is really high sensitivity, so they require some really black background source. From other hand, actually it should work with smartphones pretty well. So inside there is nice case, really stylish and really tightly fit inside. So really good looking Fox leather case with zipper, pretty attractive. Inside you will have in-ear monitors themselves, two small pouches, set of tips, 3 pair of traditional gray silicones and 3 pair of white silicones. So nice set of tips, and additionally you will have velvet-like carrying pouch, not sure what could be its purpose, and as bonus content, velcro for winding the cable and cleaning tool. So pretty nice accessory set. Maybe not the best one, but definitely not the worst one. And actually I'd say better than average. And here are earphones themselves. So nice small shells, 3D printed, made of resin, semi-transparent gray material, looks pretty attractive, but inside they are almost completely empty. Of course it's single balanced armature, so no crossover, nothing, just connector, wires and driver itself, and single bore with some filter inside. So basically the simplest design, and actually sometimes simple design we can give you something that more complicated one can't. And nice ergonomic shape, small size, so they're fitting nicely into ears, pretty well extended spout, so sound isolation is even a bit above average, good wearing comfort because of the ergonomic shape. Cable is made replaceable, here used 2-pin connector, so absolutely standard 2-pin connector, no recessed pins, no recessed sockets, so everything is simple. And stock cable, actually it could be probably a bit better, especially taking into account that Penon is famous for their really great cables. So I think they could use some of them. Stock cable is normal, but it's like okay, but no cigar. It could be good like 5 years ago, but nowadays it's just really simple. So there is ear hook, as you can see, it's trying to bend into some spiral, but actually when you wear them and put it around your ear, it's holding cable really well, but anyway, not really convenient in everyday usage. So cable itself is soft, it's pretty thin. There is a slight microphonic effect, but thanks to these ear hooks it won't be a big issue. It's almost not getting hard when it's cold outside. It goes to the splitter, and after splitter it goes braided down to the angled jack. So everything is pretty simple and pretty familiar. So besides the cable, all other presentation stuff is done really well. Good package, nice accessory set, and earpieces themselves are built really good. So probably if you consider buying them, just spend few dozens of dollars to get some Penon cable. Maybe just because of pure aesthetic, but anyway, it will be looking much better. And of course about the sound. So these in-ear monitors don't require burn-in. Actually, balanced armatures rarely require any burn-in, or they burn in like in few minutes, so don't bother spending time doing that with them. And it's better to invest this time in finding a proper tips, because proper isolation and finding a good tips is absolutely necessary here, and it plays a vital role in achieving the best possible sound. So maximum isolation is absolutely must have here, otherwise you will lose some low frequencies, you will lose weight, you will have squeaky thin sound that is absolutely lifeless and dull. But it's not the case with the proper tips. Maybe you will require some spin feeds or even Symbio ear tips, but actually for me these big gray tips were more than okay, so with them I've got the proper isolation. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about this decision. I suppose my English will allow me to express my thoughts. You know, in 2019, in 2020, it's a pretty brave move to release just a single balanced armature, while other companies try to stuff each earpiece with maximum amount of drivers, create, 26 driver in-ear monitors, while other companies try to use electret drivers, piezo drivers, and so on. Penon just went back to the basics and used single balanced armature. It's a pretty brave step, let's admit that. From another point of view, you know, it's a pretty smart move, because single balanced armatures have their strengths, I will name them a bit later, and selecting this schema you will have all that strong parts for your in-ear monitors, and they, I think, worth that. Also, you instantly getting the model that definitely stands out from the vast majority of in-ear monitors. So basically, what single balanced armature means. So what are the strengths and what are the weaknesses? Probably let's start from weak parts. So with single balanced armature you won't have good extension on one of the ends. You can get good bass extension or good treble extension, but really rarely you can get both of them. So or deeper bass or more extended treble. Actually, spoiler, this one has deeper bass. And also, of course, you will have really resolving sound, but you will be lacking some weight, especially on the mids it's noticeable, and it's also the case. From another hand, you can get maximum resolution, because there is no issues with coherence. Just a single driver means that sound is always coherent. You don't need to deal with crossover, with drivers overlap, and all other stuff that introduce you harmonic distortion, phase distortion, and other things that you won't probably like to have in your in-ear monitors. And also you will have really good resolution, and by finding the proper driver you can achieve pretty different sound tunings. And here Penon did find a really unusual driver that allows them to create a bit warmer but at the same time resolving and organic sound signature. So let's have a player on the table to provide the examples. Actually, I've selected Norma this time. I like the synergy between these two gadgets, or between these two things, and they really sing nicely together. So, bass has a good depth, maybe not the maximum one, but pretty good, and it has a slight accent, but at the same time, of course, don't expect like tightness and impactness. Is there such a word like impactness? So don't expect tightness and impact of the dynamic driver. Balanced armatures won't pump enough air to do that, but at the same time you will definitely have a good amount of low frequencies, actually with a bit of added weight, so they are not bass shy or weightless like some balanced armatures, but not dynamic drivers neither. Of course, they are really good in resolution, really nice representing textures. In this aspect, they are really good. They are superb with organic, maybe not with organic, with acoustic instruments, with natural instruments that goes really deep. They are more or less good with electronic music, but probably for the bass-heavy genres you will prefer dynamic drivers, but it's a matter of preferences. With some not bass-heavy electronic music, like my example, they are more than okay. So, if we speak about electronic music with not dominating low frequencies, Yello is one of examples that usually came to my mind. They are classics, they are really good in almost every aspect. I could select any track, and sometimes I do that, like I need something for low frequencies, okay, let's go Yello. And oh yeah, is a good example, nice bass line, at the same time not exaggerated, sorry, I need to practice this word more because I think I still don't pronounce it correctly. So, nice engaging bass line, and these in-ear monitors provide enough of weight and enough of resolution at the same time to give you all that electronic three-dimensional effects. So mids are a bit recessed comparing with low frequencies, but actually just a lower part of mids. But thanks to the single driver and thanks to the good resolution, you won't have muffled mids, you will have good resolution, but at the same time they are a bit shifted towards the warmer and weighty side, so they won't be too analytical, they won't be too nitpicking, they are pretty forgiving for the quality of records, and they are highlighting emotions a little bit, so it's a bit not typical for the balanced armatures, but sounding really organic. Imaginary stage is a bit above average in width and noticeably above average in depth, so they are more deeper than wider, and usually it means good layer separation, and also they bring in vocal more forward. And they have normal instruments body, just in some rare tracks they lacking a bit of body for the instruments and male vocal, but it's not really common, but it's normal, I think, for the balanced. It's not normal in general, but for the single balanced armature it's normal. It's the price you're paying for the resolution. And of course you will have astonishing amount of details, but not too monitoring, too dry and too clinical. And upper mids are starting to elevate, and that means really good presence for the female vocals, for the some aggressive instruments, but actually they're not sounding too aggressive, but they are balancing, between the warmth and aggression in a pretty nice way. So what I've got as an example for the mid frequencies, great example of male's vocal, Marvin, Gaye. Usually I select what's going on, but this time I selected let's get it on. If I should die tonight, classical thing and really great vocal, emotional, well recorded, and it's just a joy to listen to it with these in-ear monitors. With any resolving in-ear monitors, you will admire the tiniest nuances, tiniest details, and they will definitely please you with this track. And treble. Treble has average extension, so don't expect some really high frequencies like some other balanced armatures does, but I already said that in the beginning of this part. At the same time, it's not always a minus, because in many cases on the treble you won't have anything but compression artifacts, some noise and other stuff. So from one point of view, some audiophilic recordings won't probably be the best choice for these in-ear monitors, or actually vice versa, these in-ear monitors won't be the best choice for the audiophilic recordings. From another hand, with something not so perfectly recorded, they will be more forgiving. At the same time, treble is a bit elevated, but it's definitely not peaky, it's not sharp, not sounding too thin or metallic, so it's pretty good single balanced armature treble with nice resolution, a bit faster attacks and decays. So you've probably heard this many times, really clean, clear, with basic overtone saturation, but sounding pretty organic, engaging, not too fatiguing, not too sharp, and at the same time not too veiled. So just a good average amount of treble with nice quality. And as an example, I've got the track that was probably simply created for this in-ear monitors. It's Anathema and Lightning Song. Actually, latest works of Anathema are perfectly fitting these in-ear monitors because they are well recorded and they require good resolution because they have a lot of small nuances that needs to be represented, and this in-ear monitors does that. And of course, this track has a lot of percussions, a lot of acoustic instruments that goes to the treble area, and these in-ear monitors will play it nicely. And I also like in the Anathema albums, latest Anathema albums, the keyboards that they are using. You know, it's probably the biggest contrast in the world of heavy metal music, comparing early Anathema albums and later ones. So one of the interesting examples. So to summarize everything once again, mild V shape with really good resolution, mids and bass is a bit shifted towards the warmer side, but treble balancing it, so pretty organic, with a bit reduced weight and a bit reduced treble extension. In terms of pairing, they are pretty good with smartphones even, but they won't drive them to the full potential, so they will need something from the middle segment with good black background. It's pretty important, but actually they're not too noise peaking. I don't know how they managed to do that. There is a slight background noise with many sources. For me it's not an issue, but if you are sensitive for such things, you need to be aware of that. I try them with some dubs that have no non-zero output impedance, but because it's just single balanced armatures and there is no crossover inside, output impedance won't be a big issue. Just avoid some old models with like 10 ohms impedance or more. Speaking about the comparisons, you know, they are really stands out from the vast majority of models, providing you pretty unusual signatures. So just basically two models that I can recall right now instantly. First one is Campfire Audio Comet, another really successful single balanced armature model, but they are more weighty and a bit more detailed. So Comets are more like mix between balanced armatures and dynamic drivers, so they will give you more weight and the price will be resolution. And another model that pretty reminds the Penon Sphere is Hi-Fi Boy OS V3, you know, mids and treble remind them a little bit, but on the bass is the main difference. Hi-Fi Boy is less detailed but more weighty, while this one is more detailed with less weight, but well, it's pretty expectable. So to summarize everything, really good in-ear monitors for those who like detailed but organic sound signature with really good resolution and who don't require additional weight and extended treble. If you're thinking about buying them, probably get some third-party cable. Penon has plenty of them. Some are really affordable, like Penon oxygen-free copper cable, for example. They will be a good pairing, but stock one is also pretty okay in terms of sound, just a bit not so good in terms of ergonomics. So it was Penon Sphere. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.